po is that humihingi kami ng agreement na kung pwede during the trial stage, during the presentation of witnesses, direct examination, cross-examination, or redirect examination ay gumamit ng either or both Filipino and English languages. Para mas malinaw, para mas maintindihan, it's a very public proceedings, it's a public trial, and therefore mas maganda kung mas marami nakakaintindi. So it would help kung from time to time ay gumagamit po ng Filipino language na mas simple at mas maintindihan ng mga nanonood at nakikinig. Pangalawa po ay humihingi rin po ang, humihingi po yung prosecution din na yung tungkol sa presentation of or the participation of both public and private prosecutors pagdating sa pag-examine at pag-present ng mga witnesses. So at least one public prosecutor, one private prosecutor ang pwede na mag-present ng isang witness para kasi meron hong mga bagay, meron hong mga issues, meron hong mga testigo na ang coverage medyo expansive and therefore ay baka hatiin po yung coverage ng testimony by a public prosecutor or a private prosecutor. Pwede ring isa lang na public prosecutor o pwedeng isa lang na private prosecutor yung mag-present ng witness. Pero at least two, para one public prosecutor and one private prosecutor ang naka-assign sa pag-present ng isang witness. Number 3 is that yung tungkol naman sa reciprocal 3-day disclosure rule. Na at least 3 days before a presentation of a particular witness, I may notify the other party. Gusto ko pong linawin na itong requirement na ito, itong proposal na ito, ay actually hiling po yan ng defense. Hindi po yan hiling ng prosecution. Kasi sa tingin po namin ay nandyan naman, alam na nila kung sino yung mga witnesses namin, alam na nila kung ano yung mga ebidensya, nandyan yan sa pre-trial brief. But para lang hindi magkaroon ng mga procedural arguments o mga procedural technicalities na i-insist nila na kailangan walang surprises, ay pumapayag kami na ganun na nga. At least 3 days before the presentation of a witness or witnesses, ay kailangan ay ma-notify yung the other party. But again, I stress that hindi po yan nanggaling sa amin, sa prosecution, kasi hindi na po namin kailangan ng notice kapag merong mga ipipresent ng mga witnesses. And yung mga dokumento, nandyan na, pinipremark na, alam na nila. And mula pa lang sa pre-trial brief, nandyan na. So there can be no questions about, well, it's a surprise witness, we're being ambushed here by a surprise witness. Pero yun na nga, para wala nang mga ganong usapan that could further delay the proceedings, pumayag po kami, and I'm sure dyan sa manifestation namin, wala silang objection tungkol dyan. The fourth matter, the last matter which is the subject of that manifestation is the opening of the sealed BIR box. Remember, na doon sa proceedings before the Committee on Justice noon, pinagpasyahan ng majority of the members of the Justice Committee na wag na munang buksan yung box na present o dinala ng BIR in compliance with the subpoena issued by the committee. Kasi there were questions about whether pwede, kasi nga yung mga non-disclosure provisions as National Internal Revenue Code, although there's of course divergence of opinion there. Ako mismo, I was insisting already on the opening of that BIR box, but the majority decided otherwise. So that was transmitted, that particular BIR box was transmitted to the Senate na nakasil, na hindi pa yun nakita ng members of the Justice Committee. So since we are in the marking of exhibits, this is the proper stage na kailangan na rin siguro buksan yan para magkaroon na ng inventory of the contents of that particular BIR box. So sa tingin namin, that would aid also in more efficient and more expeditious conduct of of trial kung mabuksan na rin yan ngayon during the stage ng pre-trial. So those were the subject matters of the manifestation that was filed today, this morning, by the prosecution.
Ma'am, ibig sabihin yung court, pwedeng si Senate Secretary Bazatung yung
I think the Senate Secretary has to get the clearance from the court, or at least from the presiding officer, tungkol dyan sa sealed BIR box. Kasi kung hindi gagawin ngayon, saka lang sa trial pabubuksan. And then saka lang sa trial, ipi-pre-mark kung gagamitin as evidence by either or both parties. So mas maigi na anyway, ongoing pa naman yung marking dito sa pre-trial, ay makahabol yung pagbukas ng BIR box na yan, yung sealed BIR box, para malaman na, ma-inventory na yung kanyang mga laman.
Ma'am, pwede daw ba yung i-decide ni Senate President Gatchalian or kailangan buong?
We will leave it up to them how they were going to resolve that matter. Although I'm sure na yung manifestation na yan that would still be referred, or the defense would still have the right to respond or to comment on the manifestation that we filed. Kasi kailangan meron din agreement on their part dito sa apat na matters na ito. Although as I said, yung third matter ay galing sa kanila yan. Yung tungkol dun sa 3-day notice or disclosure of the intended witnesses at least 3 days before the scheduled hearing for that particular witness or witnesses.
Ma'am, with the extension po ng oras, 9 to 7 na yung
Yes.
kaya na po matapos po yung wait?
Matapos today?
Today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Well, today umaasa kami, hopefully dun sa Article 2, unexplained wealth, because hindi naman ganun ka-voluminous compared with the documents devoted for Article 1, ay baka today or even tomorrow. Now, yung confidential funds pa rin ang problema, kasi nga talagang voluminous. Ngayon nga sa pag-iikot ko, dun sa mga tables, may ilan yung I think at least 2 of the tables devoted, or 2 of the marking teams devoted for Article 1, yung mga acknowledgement receipts pa rin ng mga alleged payees ng confidential funds, ang mga iniisa-isa na mga minamarkahan. At yung ano kasi, and I think that is something that was insisted also by the defense, ay bukod sa pirma mismo nung pinaka-clerk in charge nung team, nung table, o ng marking team, ay magkaroon ng kina-countersign pa by both parties, by representatives or lawyers of both parties. So nakakaano rin yan ng konti, yung nakakahaba rin ng proseso.
Sir, yung sa balikan ko lang po yung sa box of steel records, to clarify, you want it open ngayong pre-trial call?
Yes, if possible. If feasible, if possible, kung makahabol pa, bago matapos talaga yung pre-trial at bago mag-issue ng pre-trial order, para makita na, para tapos na, para malaman na rin ng both parties kung gagamitin nila yung mga contents, yung mga documents na nandyan sa box na yan ng BIR. That is in relation to unexplained wealth, Article 2.
And would it be faster if ngayong pre-trial conference yung box compared sa impeachment trial?
Oh yes, of course. Kasi pag sa impeachment trials, bukod sa pagbubukas, and then titingnan at pagmamamarkahan pa, is iisa-isahin pa yan. So I don't know how much time would it take, depende kung gaano karami yung laman nun, ano ang mga laman talaga ng BIR box na yan, yung mga tax records.
Ma'am, any idea na ano naman talaga nito?
Well, it's supposed to be tax records because it's from the BIR. It's in relation to the issue of unexplained wealth. Yung taxable income pa na income ba na dinideclare dun sa mga tax records ay ano ba yon, ay makakasupport ba nung claim namin na yung hindi na ilagay sa SALN and then manifestly disproportionate to the income or to the lawful income and earnings of the respondent and her spouse.
Pero safe to say, ma'am, mabigat na ebidensya talaga yan laban sa PCP.
We cannot be commenting on that at this point because it has to do with the merits of the case. We cannot be commenting at this point on the admissibility and on the probative value and weight. So your question, sir, has to do with the issue of probative value.
So, with an authority po dapat from the presiding officer?
We leave it up to them. We leave it to the secretary, to the clerk of the court, Attorney Bantug, to take action on that as to referral to the presiding officer and whether to be referred still to the impeachment court.
Ma'am, regarding sa surprise witness or evidence, kung hindi po ba ito ni-request ng defense, so sa trial wala na supposedly surprise or reserve evidence or witnesses?
Meron pa rin reserve witness, pero yun talaga, yung reserve witness, syempre, i-disclose mo yun bago mo i-present. But most of this evidence, the witnesses and the documentary, are there already in the pre-trial brief. Kaya walang pwede magsasabi na masusurprise sila. Bakit hinihingi yan? Para makapag-prepare, di umano, sa pag-present, let's say sa pag-cross ng particular witness, no? Pero kung alam mo na kasi na isa siya talaga sa mga intended witnesses because it's there in the pre-trial brief and it will be reflected also in the pre-trial order, so bakit kailangan pa ng disclosure notice, disclosure on the witnesses or evidence to be presented on a particular scheduled hearing?
Ma'am, ang House Prosec po ba meron ding surprise witnesses or evidence na or reserve na hindi pa dinidisclose?
We cannot comment on that at this point.
Ma'am, yung one of the defense lawyers mentioned na hindi naman daw po nagsistay yung mga House prosecutors dun sa pre-trial. Your comment on that,
I'm here.
Ano po ba ang
I'm here.
proseso? Ang sabi po kasi nila parang hindi daw, parang from start to end ay nandun yung mga House prosecutors.
We're here. We made sure naman na from day one ay may natitira na House prosecutor and then ngayon na fourth day at least one prosecutor. Ako nga ang naka-assign this morning and another prosecutor si Representative Chel Jokno. This afternoon naman siya naka-assign. So tomorrow another prosecutor or prosecutors, public prosecutor or prosecutors will be here to supervise because indeed the private prosecutors are under the direct control and supervision of the public prosecutors. Pero hindi naman tama yung sinasabi, bakit wala sila o bakit umaalis ka agad and all that. I think it's uncalled for because we're here. We make sure na merong public prosecutor na naka-assign. Yesterday, it was Prosecutor Representative Terry Ridon. Yesterday. And then that was yesterday afternoon. Yesterday morning, kaming tatlo. Nila lead prosecutor Jinky Luistro and Representative Bel Zamora. That was in the morning. So meron naman talaga lagi na public prosecutor na naiiwan dito o pumupunta dito to supervise the work and to observe what's happening in the marking.
No formally requested na rin po ba yung extension of the trial?
No, there is no announcement yet about that. There is no request yet from any party, as far as I know. So pag-uusapan din namin yan, because so far it's supposed to be up to 2025, up to tomorrow, and that's why nag-endeavor yung teams na matapos within tomorrow. But I'm not sure about the confidential funds kung kakayanin up to tomorrow. Let's see, lalo nang na-extend naman yung working hours.